Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and today it was been reported by NBA Central that the Utah Jazz plan to buy out Kevin Love within the next 2 weeks. And, I was actually wondering about a month ago, a month ago, we're in August, around the time of August, I was wondering, why has this not happened yet? Why has this buyout not happened when the trade happened in July? And it was reported like right after this trade happened, that Kevin Love was supposed to be bought out, and it just hasn't happened yet, and it's supposed to happen within the next 2 weeks. And so that was reported today, and I wanted to talk about it, and kind of want to get into potential fits for Kevin Love. The three teams I automatically think of are teams where Kevin Love would reunite. And I think of first the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, when him and the Cavs parted ways the first time, I thought it was a mutual parted ways. I don't think there were there were never any problems with Kevin Love and the Cavs. He stayed with them throughout his years, or their years of playing terrible. LeBron left after the 2017-18 season. Then you've got the 2018-19 season, 2019-20 season, 2020-21 season, where the Cleveland Cavaliers are absolutely awful. And the 2022-23 season, that's the season the Cavaliers started to get back to the point, and started to get back to where they needed to be. We're in the playoffs that year, lost in the first round though, but we're in the playoffs that year. He and the Cavs agreed to a buyout, before we saw the Cavs go back to the playoffs. Then he signed with Miami, and then they went to the NBA Finals that year. I think partially that happened because I think the Cavaliers thought they weren't exactly ready for an NBA championship yet. And not only that, but they wanted to get rid of that Kevin Love contract that was absolutely crazy. And he, as good of a player as he was for the Cavaliers, that 2022-23 season, he was averaging 9 and 7 and 2 assists per game. It was shooting really well from three for the Cavs. As well as he was playing, that money wasn't worth it for the Cavs. I think they didn't do it because they didn't like what he was producing. They did it because the money he was making was absurd, and it gave him an opportunity to go play for a championship contender. And so I think it'd be interesting to see him part ways. Him join the Cavaliers again. I think that I've seen some of the Cavs guys say nothing but good things about Kevin Love, and vice versa with Kevin Love. And then so that's one reunion. Another reunion I'm thinking about is Kevin Love's reunion with players and coaches. That now there have been reports of interest from teams that Kevin Love has, teams that have players and coaches that Kevin Love has history with, like the Lakers and LeBron James, and the Mavericks and Kyrie Irving, and the Clippers and Tyronn Lue. So I don't know if the Clippers are gonna, with all they got going on, if they're gonna be making any moves, but. And funny enough, the Clippers were actually involved in the trade that sent Kevin Love to the Jazz, because that was the John Collins, Norman Powell trade. But I think those would also be interesting fits for Kevin Love. The Clippers, the Mavs, and the Lakers. The Cavs, the Lakers, the Mavs, the Clippers, those are the teams I look at. And I think that those are the reunited, that's the way you see Kevin Love reunite, is like with players and coaches. There could be other fits that I'm not thinking about, but those are ultimately the best fits I see for Kevin Love, and the places I'd like to see him. I don't know about best fits, but I think those are the places where I'd like to see Kevin Love. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on the news that Kevin Love is about to be bought out in the next 2 weeks in the comments. But I am going to predict something here. I think that this is going to be Kevin Love's last year. So I'd also throw in the Timberwolves in there potentially as well, because do you end it where it started? That's another team you could throw in there. But I think if it's going to be his last year, I thought that him and LeBron had a good relationship. Him and Kyrie had a good relationship, so maybe he wants to spend his last year with either one of those. I think him and Ty Lue also had a good relationship as well, so he could maybe want to spend it with Ty Lue. So it is an interesting thing to think about, but you guys let me know your thoughts on the news in the comments, and peace out.